Looking for an electric bike? Want to convert a bike you already have? Or just looking for an extra battery for your e-bike? Check out our range at lebikes.co.uk. Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Liam Angell, aka Straight Shootin LJA, and welcome to this E-Bikes Opinion piece. Now, what I want to delve into with this opinion piece is about e-bikes replacing cars. Can it happen? Will it happen? Should it happen? I will take each of those in order. Can it happen? Can e-bikes replace cars? To an extent, yes, but that's to an extent. Will they? I think they will to an extent. So I don't mean to sit on the fence, but I think they will to an extent. And I'll come back to why. But should they? And I think with congestion charges and ULEZ, ultra low emission zones, and that kind of thing, I kind of think e-bikes should replace cars to a large extent. Now, can and will and should e-bikes replace cars as long as the infrastructure's right? Because with anything, you do have to have a decent infrastructure. And one thing that Yamaha have actually come up with recently is something very, very interesting that could actually help this in the right direction. And it's one of them ones where a new N-ring company will work on subscription basis and eliminates need to charge at home or replace the battery when it's at the end of its life cycle. E-mobility and automotive manufacturer Yamaha has announced its intention to launch an e-bike battery subscription service in Europe. The idea that users will no longer need to charge their batteries at home and won't need to face the cost of replacing the battery at the end of its life cycle. A similar light electric vehicle LEV battery swap began in Japan last year in 2023 as well, founded by Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki and Yamaha, called Gachako. I hope I pronounced that right. Yamaha's new company, N-ring, will have its operations based in Berlin, Germany, and will involve collaboration between Yamaha Motor and strategic partner companies. They also hope to expand the operation into the Netherlands. The system will work through battery stations dotted around cities in which subscribers can swap out their batteries when they need recharging or replacing. It will target compact urban vehicles in the low speed range, which Yamaha says will mean mainly e-bikes. Batteries at the end of their usable life cycle will be reused as storage batteries, disassembled into cells, recycled and reused as new batteries. LEV battery swapping is yet to take the UK by storm, but with a number of schemes opening up in Europe, including Swabby, perhaps we'll be lucky enough to see something similar in the near future. You know, I like this idea. I do like this idea. I personally like my e-bike because I can go a lot further on it than I would on a normal bike with significantly less effort. So it's one of them ones, and I mean that with the pedal assist, not throttle. So if you've got kind of docking stations, if I was to say, if I wanted to go on a 100-mile journey, for instance, like say I wanted to do a London to Brighton ride, for instance, I couldn't do it on my current bike because with the batteries I've got, I'd probably get maybe 60 miles range. And to get to Brighton, I think you'd need like 100, 120. But if there were docking stations and charging stations along the way where I could just swap my batteries out, that works. That works. I mean, there would be the issue, obviously, of quality control, who's charging them, who's maintaining them, most importantly, and making sure that the batteries are okay. Because you wouldn't want a situation like Lime bikes in London where they're just strewn everywhere. Where it's like, oh, my time's done, throw the bike down. You wouldn't want that with lithium-ion batteries. So it would have to be carefully thought out, but I think Yamaha are going along the right lines, where it's like hot swappable batteries. It's like, remember when hot swappable peripherals like control pads for PCs came out and how revolutionary that was? Remember when USB sticks first came out and they were like, you could plug and play between computers? Imagine that with electric bikes. Now, in theory, you would kind of need a standardized battery style. So that would be where things would get a little more complex. Would Yamaha be doing it just for e-bikes they've produced, or would they do different form factors and collaborate with other companies such as Specialized, maybe such as Bosch, such as Shimano, among others, to create kind of a more universal standard? Or would they just do a few batteries? Because you look at, say, bikes like the Rad Runner or the Rad Wagon, those batteries are not the same as a Shimano Steps one. It's not the same. It's not the same battery you'd use for a Bosch Powerline motor, for instance. So there would have to be, in theory, some sort of agreement in terms of standard. And then in theory, where does that leave people who do bike to e-bike conversions, or they've got their DIY bike that they love, e-bike? So where does that leave them? If it's only done between, say, Yamaha, Bosch, and Shimano, where does that leave everyone else? Where does that leave people with Bafang mid-drive motors, or someone with an engwe EP2? Where does that leave them? Because those batteries are not the same. So that's where it kind of falls down. But for short journeys, I look at it as, for almost any journey within, say, a 20-mile radius, I would look at an e-bike replacing that, personally. If I know I've got to commute, say, 6 miles, that might take an hour and a half by buses. And I've got to be lucky and time when I'm getting my first bus, hope that it gets to the connecting point at the second bus on time, because if it gets held up in traffic, then I'm screwed. So it's one of them was for short journeys. And if I said anything within a 15 to 20 mile radius, I think should be replaced by an electric bike. Now, it's different when you've got children, but cargo bikes are actually very, very good ways of getting around. Like the Baboe Curve, I mentioned the Radwagon earlier. They are a bit on the pricey side, but invaluable for what they do. You can ferry two, three kids around on it and not be absolutely knackered. It's and also the riding sensation, even going up hills, it doesn't feel like you're riding a pedelec. Where it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna sweat buckets. So it's one of them ones for shorter journeys, and especially school runs, because there are a lot of schools that are saying kind of no to pollution, no idling outside of schools in terms of cars, and it would get rid of a lot of the quote unquote clutter on the roads if people left their cars at home for the school run. I mean, most people's school runs are a 5-minute drive, maybe a 10-minute drive at the most. Why not use an e-bike for that? And it's like, some people might not want to do it during cold and wet weather, but then a lot of the kind of cargo bikes with trailers on the back and stuff like that have windproof and waterproof rain covers. So your kids won't be exposed to the elements. You can dress up in whatever waterproof gear that you want. So I think for journeys within a 20-mile radius of your home, of your workplace, if your workplace is that, I think can, will, and should be replaced by electric bikes, because it makes sense. It's better for the environment. It's more sustainable. And you do get your legs working, you get a bit of exercise, and it reduces traffic on the road. And it also reduces the likelihood of serious traffic accidents. So there are a number of upsides to replacing journeys with an electric bike. A lot of my journeys are replaced with an electric bike. I've got two of them. I've got a little folding Carrera and I've got a Carrera Hellcat. And I love riding both of them. And I ride both of them as much as I can. But it is one of them ones where you've also got to teach motorists as well. And I've mentioned this in previous opinion pieces, especially about TFL and increasing the amount of cycle superhighways and cycle paths, which I think is a great initiative. But you do still have to teach motorists and cyclists alike to get along. And especially you do have to teach motorists to be considerate of cyclists as well. And also vice versa. It's not a one-way street. Respect is a two-way street, and consideration is a two-way street too. So there is still that education that is necessary, but I think it could be really good for electric bikes to replace shorter car journeys. I think it'd be phenomenal. And I'm hoping it happens, because the uptake of electric bikes has been superb over the past couple of years, and apparently it's set to grow. So Yamaha's idea of battery swapping, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, because it might encourage more people. Oh, I don't really want to spend 500 quid on a battery and have to lug 3-4 batteries with me to make a long journey. And it's like, if you could hot swap as you're going along the journey, it's brilliant. I just think it makes sense. I really do. But you know what? I want to know your views. lebikes.co.uk is our website. Go green, go electric, save money with LE Bikes. We've got engwe bikes available, himiway bikes available, the long range ones. We are an official and authorized reseller for engwe brand and himiway long range electric bikes. We do Bafang conversion kits, mid-drive conversion kits. We do batteries. We do accessories as well. We do conversions, bike to e-bike conversions, and much more. You know what? We are on the social networks. We are on YouTube, LE Bikes. We are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Yeah, man. Get in touch with us. We're on Twitter as well. Get in touch with us, LE Bikes or LE Bikes LTD on some of the social networks as well. Get in touch with us. We would love to hear your views. We've got the LE Bikes opinion piece vlogs and podcasts as well. So much coming your way. Also our LE Bikes tips and tricks series, which gives you some helpful tips and advice on how to keep your e-bike ticking over and working for you, not against you. Hey, the more maintenance you put in, and more time you put into your electric bike, the more it will help you out. So we got the LE Bikes tips and tricks videos, as well as our opinion pieces with yours truly, Liam Angell, as well. You know what I said? I have been Liam Angell, aka Straight Shootin LJA, and until next time, lebikes.co.uk. Go green, go electric, save money with LE Bikes. I will see you next time. Happy riding, everyone. Mid-drive motor conversion kits, ready-made e-bikes, batteries, bike to e-bike conversions, custom builds and more. Start your journey into electric bikes at lebikes.co.uk.